I was one of those teen girlies that spent a good part of my teenage years curating the perfect wedding Pinterest board. I had subsections: the dress, the bridesmaids' dresses, the cake, the flowers, the photography. Yo, it was fun. A lot of it I did use for inspiration for actually planning my wedding, but for the most part, it was just fun to dream. Let us talk about the things I wish I knew before becoming a young wifey. Getting married is such a uniquely exciting experience. The only day that you get to be the celebrity, unless you actually are a real life celebrity, then okay, everybody wants a picture with you, everybody wants to talk to you, everybody's like, oh my gosh, you look so good. You're wearing a ball gown and it's like completely acceptable. I don't know when else I'm going to get the chance to wear a ball gown. I recently celebrated my 2-year wedding anniversary. It's actually the first video up on my channel, so if you want to check that out, I'll link it somewhere. But here we are 2 years later. We thank God. If I could sit down with me from 2 years ago, these are the things I would want for her to just think about more and more as she's going into this being a young wife. So I've separated this video into 3 categories. The money matters. Let's talk finances in marriage a little bit. Expectations, identity, and personal growth. So if you want to skip to any of those sections, feel free. I've divided the video into those 3 parts for your convenience. You're welcome. Before getting married, most couples have an in-depth conversation about finances. I'm saying it like it's obvious, but please have a conversation about finances before you marry someone and you tie yourself to them legally for the rest of your life. It's so important. Money is one of those main reasons why a lot of couples end up like breaking up. I think it's like the top 5 reasons for divorce. I don't know, it's somewhere there. Talk about it. You guys sit down, you talk savings, you talk investments, you talk renting, you talk buying. You guys talk about a lot of these practical aspects to finances, like how we're going to manage our money, how we're going to spend our money, etc., etc., etc. What is money going to look like for us as a married couple? That is such an important conversation. However, a conversation that I wish you ask questions more along the lines of, what is your personal relationship with money? What does money mean to you? What did conversations about money look like in your home? All of these things are the less practical than, okay, the numbers, but they are much deeper and they speak to what our relationship, our perceptions, and how money makes us feel as an individual. The practical is obviously super important, but I don't think a lot of people, at least I wish we had spent more time going more in depth about our money psychologies, each of our feelings and thoughts and emotions and past experiences with money, how we were taught to view money. I think for most of us, there are a lot of feelings attached to money that we don't realize. And I think this can trigger a lot of things for couples. You have the numbers on a sheet, but you still find yourselves like just not exactly on the same page. Almost feeling like there's certain things around your finances that you can't talk about because it's going to trigger something in your partner. A word to the wise would be run the numbers, but also have that more emotional conversation about finances. Whew. There's a lot that can go into money and marriage. Things like that will definitely help you and your partner understand each other. That when you are talking about the numbers, you guys are approaching with more clarity and also more compassion for the other person. Some people spend money as a coping mechanism. Some people self-soothe with online shopping, for example. I feel like that's worth knowing. It's not necessarily something that is necessary to run numbers with, but it's definitely worth knowing about your partner. Ramit Sethi, he is a financial podcaster here on YouTube. I think he mainly focuses on married couples or couple finances. But what you find in each podcast episode is that there's a lot of conversation about, how did you grow up with money? How did money make you feel as a child? Like, what were you taught? How did you see your parents manage finances? Did you feel like money was scarce? Did you feel like money was abundant? He always says that money is emotional. I cannot agree more. Expectations to become the perfect spouse overnight. If you are an African girly or a Congolese girly like me, we were basically raised to be wives. My friend and I were talking about it the other day, where it's like, are you going to do this in your husband's house? Are you going to cook fufu like this for your husband? No, your husband. Most of my friends, that's how the conversation has been like. You are taught from a young age to be aware of how you carry yourself, be aware of the skills you have so that you are prepared and ready to one day be a wife. So when the wedding day comes along, it's like, okay, guys, I have been preparing, I've been rehearsing, I've been in preparation my whole life for this. Let's go. Showtime. I don't think there's anything wrong with teaching both girls and young boys life skills of all types. It's obviously education, it's obviously career skills, but also like skills for building a home. I think it did put me in a position where I felt like the wedding day was the finish line. What I mean by that is that I arrived in marriage as the wife when in fact it was really time to start learning now for real. The wedding is not the finish line, it's the beginning line. When you say I do, you don't magically like get this download of how to be a wife for your husband. I found myself being really hard on myself in the beginning. And it's like, what do you mean? Like, I just got you. Like, I just arrived.
I just arrived.
Is the president coming?
I just arrived.
Is the president coming?
I just arrived.
Even if you had been trained, quote unquote, your whole life to do this, it doesn't mean that you will get you and you will just know what to do because your home is so unique to you. You are just a unique person. What was happening in your mother's house is not about copy and pasting into your own house. You are creating something new with your partner. So give yourself that grace to figure out what this new season of life is going to look like. Even if you feel like you've got all of the basic skills down, I think that is just the beginning. Also, the expectations that come from social media. You know, when you see other girlies, you know, busy posting about being, you know, such amazing wives and husbands, and you kind of can start to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing what she's doing. I'm not doing what they're doing. First of all, you don't know what they're doing. They're just showing you a curated 90-second portion of a 24-hour day. You don't know what's actually happening within the day-to-day of their lives. But second of all, that can really get to you when you start comparing yourself. Maybe because I make content, I know that what I'm posting is not my whole day. It's not even 1% of my day. So when I'm watching other people's content, I guess I'm kind of aware. I know that what I post is not my whole day. Not to say that it's not true. I just know that if somebody wanted to curate a certain image, it's so easy. If it feels unrealistic for me, I'm not going to start to aspire for something that doesn't feel realistic or doesn't feel natural, doesn't feel like it aligns with the kind of home or lifestyle I want for myself. Identity and getting married youngish. I think your 20s are a time in your life where you are learning so much about yourself. I was saying on my Instagram stories the other day, I think it's important to note that you are growing with someone. It's one of the beautiful things I think of getting married on the younger side. You go through that personal growth journey with somebody else who's also growing. Do you know what I mean? I know that you never stop growing, but I do think the 20s can be especially significant for a lot of people. It's a time where most people, I think, figure out what their core values are, what are the most meaningful things for them in life. It can be such a journey of just kind of settling into who you are, coming into myself and being okay with that. Managing that journey alongside managing the first couple of years of marriage. The older you get, the more you do tend to know yourself. If you do decide to get married young, it's something that you're just going to have to do alongside your person while they also figure it out. That's worth noting, just understanding. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with going through that journey with somebody else. I have a husband who has been super supportive of that. We value our individual passions, our individual journeys, our individual growth so much. That makes sense. I don't know. You guys get me. We give each other the space to kind of do what we got to do because we understand that as much as we are here parents of a child, a beautiful baby boy, we are also still 20-something year olds just trying to figure things out. We really need to give ourselves and each other grace. I do think that it's worth noting, worth thinking about these aspects of young love. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I am posting on a weekly schedule. So if you are interested, kindly subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram. And if you like this video, if you did actually enjoy watching it, we'll see each other, be it through a vlog, be it through a chatty video like this next week, Sunday. Bye.